Yeah. If you don't remember. Yeah, if you do, come up and do it on the mic so the video picks it up. Okay.
Supposed to come out of charities or the club?
Charities.
As I figured.
Yeah, you can give it to Christine.
Yeah, she had it. She was asking me, and I'm like, I wasn't.
Welcome to Yakima Southwest Rotary, the... All right, I have Steve to do invocation. Steve, do you want to come up?
Yeah, thank you. Let's bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we just thank you right now that we can come together as a club and enjoy each other. We thank you for the opportunities you give us in the community. We thank you for each person here. And we pray for those that aren't here. We pray for Corey and the legislature right now. And we hope that things are getting done down there as well. And we pray for our nation today. And we thank you for this time in Jesus' name. Amen. Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Steve. I'm going to get you... go ahead in just a second. I'm going to try and switch things up a little bit. I don't know in which order we're going to try and do this in the future, so I'm going to try it this way, so just bear with me. I'm hoping this works. So I'm going to just play a little video about Rotary. It's stalling out about 2/3 the way in, so bear with me. No. Hold on. Sorry.
Came from the group's early practice of rotating meetings among by the name of Paul Harris started a club so professionals with diverse backgrounds could exchange ideas, form friendships, and give back to their communities. Rotary's name came from the group's early practice of rotating meetings among the offices of its members. They were committed to service and not afraid to dream big. Today, that club now has 1.2 million members. In 1952, 58,000 cases of polio were reported. Over 3,000 died, and 21,000 were left with paralysis. We began our fight against polio in 1979 with a project to immunize 6 million kids in the Philippines. We went to Mexico, immunized 13 million children. Then we went to South America, Central America. One nation after another became polio-free. We raised $1.6 billion to end polio and teamed with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, World Health Organization, UNICEF, CDC. With our efforts, we even arranged a 4-day ceasefire in the Civil War in the Sudan so we could go in and immunize the children nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. Today, there are less than 20 people in the world with disease. We broadened our goals. We set sights on providing not only vaccines, but clean water, sanitation to nations across the globe. We built thousands of WASH programs in over 100 countries, $3 billion on life-changing, sustainable projects. We support education. We give scholarships and grants to people who fight for the same beliefs. We give over 7...
Yep, that's where it stalls out. All right. At least I knew about it in advance. So, Wi-Fi is a little unstable here, so I'm going to try and do a video or something like this each week. So anyway, I thought it was a great video. Sorry it stalled out. I'll try and pass it along here. So I've got John. Would you like to come do introduction of guests? Sorry.
Okay, we're going to start with Larry Simmons. Simons. Thank you. Larry Simons is from Seattle, moved here, and he really, really wants to be a part of our group. So we need to show him the best part we can. Because downtown and Sunrise do not need him. We do. Josh Munson, you have a guest.
I have Michael Campos. He is back for his second visit, and he is with Steins Ace Hardware, which if you know Steins in West Valley, super community focused, giving. He would be a great addition to our club. Awesome.
Excellent. Thank you. Welcome. Marilyn.
I have a guest with me, Jamie Elmo, and she's the owner of Balance Echo Refillery just around the corner, and she'll be joining our presentation today.
Awesome. Thank you. Welcome. And Emily.
I'm here with my darling boy.
Welcome, Julie. Any jokes today? No jokes? Okay. Curtis has a guest. Curtis, Mary. Yep. Welcome, Mary. And then, Joanne, you've got a guest.
My husband, Bob.
Welcome, Bob. Bob's going to be presenting it today as well. Any other guests that we missed? Sorry, we missed you at the sign-up, so. Okay. Okay. All right, so on to club announcements. Let's see here. Members anniversary. Taylor Stormo just finished 10 years this month. Bill Gilmore, 16 years of service. Susan Duffin, 2 years. Welcome, or thank you. And then Dusty Dore for 5 years of service to the community. Thank you, guys and women. Birthdays, I believe Emily just celebrated her on the 26th. Happy birthday, Emily. All right, so last week we missed everybody that wasn't able to make it up to White Pass. We had snowshoeing. I believe George and his crew did just over 6 miles. Is that correct, George? I thought that was pretty impressive. I haven't done 6 miles probably since I hiked 2 or 3 years ago without the snow. So, and then a number of us did skiing, and then we had pizza and salad and good fellowship. So that was a great time. Thank you for the social committee for planning that. There's an announcement for Habitat for Humanity. There's a women's build that's coming up in March. That's going to be March 6th through the 11th. We'll get some sign-up details on whom to RSVP to. We're getting a little bit of clarification on the job duties, etc., so people feel good about showing up and contributing towards building a home. And then we have our auction is on April 28th. I'll get kind of a more of a broad blast out for sponsorships and table sponsors, etc. So you can look at different ways you can participate. Every member is required to purchase 2 tickets. You can do that also by getting your company to buy a table, maybe recruiting an individual to buy a table. You could also recruit and solicit a sponsorship of $500 or greater. That would also meet your requirement for buying 2 tickets to the auction. If you're out of town, you're still required to participate in the auction in one way, shape, or form. And then a silent auction donation item of a $50 or greater value. There's, if you don't want to do that, you can do a $100 buyout, or you can help sign up for the dessert dash and contribute a dessert towards our dessert dash. It is not Ryan Beckett. No. Anybody else? No? Okay. Josh, do you want to come up, do an announcement real quick? Josh is going to talk about the Molly Davis Scholarship. Molly Davis Scholarship.
Thanks, Dirk. For those of you that don't know, back in 2008, Molly Davis passed away and left $20 million to the Yakima Rotary Trust to fund 2- and 4-year scholarships for students in Yakima Valley. And since then, we've given away hundreds and hundreds of scholarships and millions of dollars. Now, I don't actually know the number of millions, but I know it's exceeding $10 million to students from our valley, which is an astronomical number. So what happens is each year, starting December 1st through the end of February, students are allowed or given the opportunity to apply for the Molly Davis Scholarship. So they fill out an application. There's a lot of need-based. There's a significant essay that's written about what they're doing in the community, how they see this valley, and things along those lines. And as part of that process, somebody from the Rotary Trust Board, a member from our club, a member from the Downtown Club, and a member from the Sunrise Club get into groups, and we read these essays and then judge them and grade them, and that helps rank those students as part of the judging criteria. And so today I'm asking for some volunteers. I need 5 volunteers from our club to read some essays from these phenomenal students that'll be applying for this scholarship. And just to give you a window of time, it's a 2-week-long period when you'll read the essays. It's about 20 essays, I believe, that you'll read, and it's the weeks of March 13th through the 25th, where you'll have a chance to read these essays and then judge them and score them and then report back. And there'll be a lot more details if you decide to sign up. So if you're interested in participating and reading about what the students of our community are doing and where they want to go to college and how they want to spend their time, let me know, and I'll get you signed up and get you some more details. Thank you.
Thanks, Josh. That's a service opportunity for your bingo sheet, if you're interested. Really elite class of people have signed up for that reading, you know. All right, so that's it for announcements. I'm now going to turn it over to Bruce and the Preserve the Planet. And then I think, do we need the dollar collectors for this? Okay. All right, so cool. Turn it over to Bruce.
Okay, thank you.
You're up on the screen.
Dirk, there we go. Okay, thank you, Dirk. Before I begin, I do want to give a thanks to President Dirk. He's been very supportive of our committee, so we really have appreciated him. And I know Bob Knutson's going to be worried we're not jumping right into Sergeant at Arms, but it's going to happen, Bob. We'll have the raffle and all that stuff, so hang tight. But I also wanted to recognize our committee. I hope you can read everybody's name there. And it's been a really fun committee. We've had a really energetic meetings. There's a lot of inspiring conversations we've had to put together this program. And I also want to thank Bob Rose. Bob is a member of our committee, but he has spent a lot of time putting together this PowerPoint, many iterations of this final PowerPoint. So thank you, Bob. And Jim Black is also on our committee, and he and Vicky moved to white salmon, but he's emailed me this week and said, "Are you going to tell a joke? Because when you were president, you always told a joke." So I was inspired, and so I hope you haven't heard this one. This is one Curtis might know. So if you go into the bathroom as an American and you leave the bathroom as an American, what are you in the bathroom? You know the answer? Okay. European. I couldn't resist that one. That sounds like the same reaction I used to get when I tell the joke. Well, Rotary has embraced protecting the environment by making it one of their 7 areas of focus. So they have taken it very seriously, and it's been fun to read about different clubs around the world that are coming together with different projects in protecting our environment. Our group, we looked at a number of different environmental issues to try to focus on, and we came up with talking about plastics and microplastics as our main focus this year. And as we start talking about the use of plastics, our main idea of focus is changing behavior, bringing awareness to single-use plastics. This picture is a picture I took back in October at a place where Ann and I shop. So this is one store in Yakima. I walked in the front door. This is in the little hallway there, and I was a little bit surprised at the number of water bottles in plastic. And as I went through the store, they had a number of other pallets there full of plastic water bottles. And so I counted them. I took pictures, and I came home and calculated out. This one store in Yakima had over 56,000 bottles of plastic water bottles. One store in Yakima. You think about other stores. You think about if you shop at Costco, you see cases and cases of water bottles going out, and most of that is not recyclable. Most of that plastic is thrown in the trash. So it just, to me, was an example of the problem at hand. This is just a little overview of our presentation today. Mark Hummel's going to do our Sergeant at Arms coming up next, and he's going to do the meat of our program. And then Mary Lynn and Joanne are going to talk about some products, show and tell, kind of an idea that you can try at home. Just give you some ideas of some things that are out there. And as Mark's coming up to do this, I also want to start out Sergeant at Arms with a happy $10 in recognition of all the work that Dave Rankin does for our club in behind the scenes, and he always puts something about the earth in the Earth Bits in our newsletter that's been very interesting and informative. So thank you, Dave. So Mark, you're up.
I'll take your $10.
Oh, you wanted, I thought you wanted to take my hand.
No.
It's this button right there.
Just take his wallet, Joe.
Okay, let's back up and take care of the raffle first. So can we get somebody there to draw? What's the dollar amount?
800.
Whoa. Maybe we get a winner today. Dave, it's your honor. $587. Last 3 numbers, 587. How about happy bucks? Do we have any happy bucks today? Okay.
I have a happy $5 because Matt Peterson is now Matt Reed is now our elect.
Congratulations, Matt. Other happy bucks. Josh.
This last weekend, I was able to take my son and a couple of his buddies down to Mount Bachelor for a ski competition, and he took second place in a slopestyle event down there.
Whoa, awesome. Fantastic. Yeah, go ahead.
I've got 5 happy bucks. I survived 10 days in Orlando. It's going to take me 6 months to pay it off. Great time, and they have the world's largest McDonald's there. They do wood-fired pizza to order. They serve pasta on plates. They throw silverware. It was very interesting to go into McDonald's.
They keep telling you it's make pasta.
Wow, okay. Gene.
Okay, so I have 5 happy bucks, and what this is for is my daughter is having a new baby, and it's going to be a girl, and this is the one in South Dakota, and it's due in May, and her name will be Isla Rose, and we're crazy excited about that. Her the other baby she had was born on the day that my dad passed away, which is amazing. So this will be the second. It's a girl, and it's gonna be awesome. So that's just part of the awesomeness here. The other is that my son and his wife of a couple of years moved here to the valley. They're gonna have their first, and they're gonna have a boy, and it's gonna be due in July. So I'm
Wow.
crazy happy we're populating the earth and very it's Italian thing.
Congratulations, Gene. That's fantastic. Grandkids the greatest thing ever. Lynn.
This is going to be kind of strange, but I want to say that we still have some really good Samaritans here in Yakima. Our son-in-law was in a hit and run last Friday night. It wasn't horrible, but it was a hit and run. And there was a good Samaritan that followed the people that hit our son-in-law, and it turned out to be 3 people were arrested for a felony, drug possession, and a guy that had just got out of prison the day before and didn't have a driver's license.
Oh, my goodness.
And followed that person home. 3 people.
Fantastic. There's good people out there. Dirk.
I got one. It's been a few weeks, so here's $5 for the OG twins, a buck for Benji, and 2 new twins.
Thank you, Dirk. Okay, Luis.
So this is really interesting. Whenever I go to meetings, I never pay attention. However, I'm doing something really cool with me and my daughter. I'm going to Iceland, England, and France. And I remember when I was here, I was paying attention, and Tom gave a presentation about France. And because we're Rotarian, I called him, and without anything, he gave me all the information. So I'm pretty excited about going to
Oh,
France.
yeah, for sure.
I'm paying the bill that he never paid.
Okay. Covering for Tom, okay. Thank you.
I'm going to go to England for forever, so he's going.
Fantastic. That'll be a great trip. Yeah, okay, keep going.
I have $5 for my son Killian, who is my guest today, and who has helped me with Sergeant at Arms before, and will hopefully become a Rotarian. He's been roped into blanket making and bell ringing and all kinds of things, and so I'm grateful that Rotary is giving me a chance to show through my actions that helping our community is important.
Oh, wow. Very good. Very good. Very good. Modeling, yeah. Any other happy bucks? Shameless plugs? Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to shamelessly plug That is absolutely awesome. You have a lot to celebrate. There's 5 of them. I have $5 for mine. I just want to let everybody know, I want to invite you out to Cana Winery this Friday. We're going to have some music there. I happen to be playing music, and they have some great wines, so come on out. That's my shameless plug.
What's the name of the band?
Vandermeers.
Vandermeers. Vandermeers. Look it up.
The other band is Genevieve. Thank you, Captain, for that, for my shameless plug. All right. So come out to Cana Winery Friday. It's going to be a great time. Good wine.
What time is that? What time?
7 to 10.
7 to 10. Dirk?
I'll do just a real quick shameless plug. My mom got me John Gasparetti's cookbook.
Oh.
With storytelling. And the stories that he tells and the recipes from the restaurant are in there. So I think it's like a must-have if you've been in the Valley for a while. Try and pick yourself up John Gasparetti's book. It's
Okay.
a good read.
Good gift idea, too. Yeah. Any other shameless plugs? Okay. Well, great. We're going to keep going. So it's a little bit different in that we're trying to kind of do the whole Sergeant of Arms and everything around one topic. And so I'm thankful I have the opportunity to kind of lead this part, but I don't know about the topic. If you were doing for this for the first time in front of a club that you just joined, would you choose plastic as a topic? Everybody's pretty excited about it. So really what our intent is to try to give you information and get you to think and reflect a little bit about plastic and how it impacts our environment. And we had conversation about that word "our," and that is kind of a mutual thing in terms of both individually to reflect upon that and collectively as a club. You know, how are we impacting our environment with plastic? So we'll start with Sergeant at Arms. It'll be $2 if you cannot answer the question, and $1 fine if you get it right. So we'll start with, I guess this table right here, Hank's table. In 1950, the annual world production of plastic was about only 1.5 million metric tons of plastic. And it really took off after World War II. So the question is, what was the approximate world production of plastic in the year 2020? Was it A, 99 million metric tons, 173 million metric tons, 225 million metric tons, or 367 million metric tons?
Is that the world?
World. They're going to go with D, 367. Correct. 367 million metric tons in 2020. So it's only a $1 fine. Just to try to put that, try to give you some perspective of how much that is. That's the equivalent of the equivalent weight, not mass, but weight of 3,670 aircraft carriers. Another way to think about it, Bruce had found something a couple weeks ago, that if you put everybody on the planet Earth on a massive scale and weighed how much they weigh, and you compared it to how much plastic, the weight of all the plastic we produce in just 1 year, the plastic would be well over the weight of everybody on the planet. So we're producing ample supply of plastic. Let's go to the back there, Susan's table. So plastic is a petroleum product. Its production, therefore, contributes to carbon emissions, which is a whole nother topic that we could talk about as part of our committee, but we're talking about plastics today. So the production of plastic is one of 3 major products that really generate about a quarter of all the carbon emissions that we're putting into the planet. So the question is, other than plastic, what are the other 2 products that fit in that industrial product production? One is plastic. This table in the back right here. Yeah, you guys got lucky today. It's the only question that's not multiple choice. I can feel $2 coming. Steel is one of them. Fertilizer, that's a good guess too, though. cement and steel. So there's 2020 carbon emissions, and you can see industrial carbon emissions is approximately a quarter, and it's probably going to stay about there until we have greener sources of energy than, making plastic and cement and steel out of coal as an electricity source. So, okay, let's go to the next one. The convenience that plastic offers contribute to a throwaway culture. So this question is, okay, we're making 367 million tons of plastic every year. How much of that is produced just for the purpose of single use and throw it away? 18%, 27%, 33%, or 40%? How about you guys up here? We'll give you that one. It's multiple choice. Yeah, can you handle it? Yeah. What do you say?
The answer is D.
The answer is D. 40, and sometimes you hear as high as, so you owe $1. Sometimes you hear as high as 50%. So 40 to 50% of all that 367 million is single use, throw it away. That's pretty amazing. Okay, so we have a lot of different kind of throwaway items that are made out of plastic. So we'll go to this table right here, Raquel's table. Which of the following single-use items is the most commonly one found in the environment after its use? Is it plastic drinking bottles, plastic lids, plastic cutlery, plastic grocery bags, or plastic straws and stirrers? D, plastic grocery bags. We do waste a lot of plastic grocery bags, but the number one is the plastic drinking bottles. $2 fine. It's just kind of interesting here. If you look at the bottom, part of this topic is to get you to reflect a little bit about if you would simply replace the use of plastic water bottles with, a reusable water bottle. The average American would save 156 plastic bottles annually. And you saw the picture that Bruce had of just in Yakima of one store. It's crazy. So we're making all this plastic, and it has to go somewhere. 40 to 50% gets recycled. 40 to 50% is single use. But how much of the plastic waste is recycled? So did you guys get a question yet? Okay. Gene's table back there. 5 to 6% is recycled plastic, 8 to 9%, 13 to 14%, 18 to 19%. The correct answer is A, $1 from you guys, 5 to 6%. Sometimes you do hear as high as 8%, 9%, but typically around 5 to 6%. Depends on where you're at and the availability of recycling centers, and there's a lot of information about why it's only 5 to 6%, but we're going to keep it moving. Okay, plastic bags came up. We're going to go to the table in the very back. Here's a crazy number. 5 trillion plastic bags are made worldwide annually, those grocery bags. Approximately how many plastic bags do Americans throw away annually? 20 billion, 75 billion. This is 1 year. 100 billion. Just in the United States, 200 billion. What would you like to guess? D, 200 billion. 100 billion American bags a year. So $2. Thank you for your contribution. $2. Again, thinking about that, so average person over the course of a year, 307 bags. I'm just going to tell a quick story related to that. Dirk and I were at Ray's doing the kettle. ringing the bells for 2 hours. And so while we're there, I said, well, I'm going to count, Dirk, how many people come in and out of here with their own bag instead of using the grocery bag. You know, they bring their own reusable bag. That's a suggestion. 2 hours time. It was 5 to 7, so it was pretty busy. Take a guess how many people I saw bringing their own bag. Just you, Luis. Seeing you spoke up. Anybody have a guess? In a 2 hour time, how many people? 4.
That's what I said.
4 people in 2 hours. He's got to find them there. Okay, thanks, Luis. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about plastic itself. So plastic is a petroleum product, and it's made out of chemicals. So bacteria doesn't cause it to decompose. And what happens with it over time is that larger pieces, they break down because of the sea, if they're in the sea or the land, the sun. It's just exposure, oxidation, frictions, animals chewing on it, all kinds of things. So the speed with which plastic breaks down is very slow. I think a rapid is 450 years, guess, most often beyond that. But it just keeps breaking down into smaller fragments, and those fragments cause all kinds of problems in the environment. So what do we call these really small fragments of plastic that are basically everywhere in the environment? Do we call them microplastics, minimized plastic, subdued plastic, or plastic chips? Let's see, have you guys had one yet? Okay, why don't you take this one? How are we doing, Bob?
Yeah, I think it'd be bad to say subdued plastic, or minimize this whole thing. I think we
They are called microplastics. Very good. $1 fine to that table. Yeah, so microplastics are everywhere in the environment, and especially like in the ocean. They cause problems with marine life because they eat it. And then, you know, how it works, and then we eat fish, and so we get to eat it too. I think we're one table in the back, right? So at least 14 million. So we have all this plastic we've made. We've got 40 to 50% of it is single use. That means it's all trash. So where does all this plastic trash go? The answer is in landfills or in the ocean. So the question is, at least 14 million tons of plastic end up in the ocean every year. So in order to achieve this goal that we have as Americans, it's the equivalent of dumping one garbage truck full of plastic waste into the ocean every 1 minute, hour, day, or week throughout 1 year. What do you think? Minute? Dumping, it's equivalent of dumping a garbage truck of plastic in the ocean every 1 minute. So that's a $1 fine. So the EPA does regulate. You can't just dump anything into the ocean. There's regulations of, you know, toxic waste, industrial waste, sewage, untreated sewage, all kind of things you can't dump in the ocean. But plastics is not on that list. Do we have a table that we didn't go to yet? Do you guys want to do it? Well, you can. So plastics go into the ocean, and because they float, they're transported large distances, and they get caught into the currents of the ocean, and they kind of converge in these gyres. And the very largest ocean plastic accumulation zone, what's the title of it? Is it the Grand Surface Gyre, the Convergent Plastic Zone, the International Plastic Gyre, or the Great Pacific Garbage Patch? D. You're saying D? No, I got Trump. Claudia says A. A, the Grand Surface Gyre. It's called the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Well done, Claudia, $2. So, yeah, the plastic, the microplastics just accumulate in the current. And so there's, in every ocean, there's the current of where they'll catch in. The largest one, probably not coincidentally, is off the coast of the United States, halfway between Hawaii and California. We have some pictures of that, but we didn't bring them. Maybe we can put them in the newsletter. So here's just kind of some interesting facts. So I think that, did every table get an opportunity? So I think that wraps up the Sergeant of Arms. Just some kind of summary information that you can take a look there regarding plastics and hopefully an understanding of what the plastics of problems are. Okay, so I have 2 more slides I'm going to summarize and then turn it over to Joanne and Mary Lynn. One is then, well, why are we making all this plastic? Why do we produce so much plastic and 40 to 50% of it is just trash that ends up in the ocean or in landfills? The first thing, it's very profitable. Plastic is made from a petroleum product. So the petroleum industry enjoys the fact that we make a lot of plastic just to throw away. It's money making, it's profitable. Plastic is relatively inexpensive. That's one of the problems with recycling. It's still way cheaper just to make it from scratch than it is to recycle it and reuse it. So as long as you can do that, recycling is going to have a tough battle to fight. There's so many uses for plastic. If you think about it, it's really a struggle to think of any industry whatsoever that doesn't have plastics as a part of their industry somewhere. You know, everything from the steering wheel in your car to the table that you're sitting at, the chairs. I mean, every industry has plastic consumption. Plastic is lightweight and strong, so it's a very effective product. And to me, maybe the 40 to 50% waste thing is really a convenience issue. I can remember, and probably many of you in the room can remember too, I can remember when watered bottles first came out and saying to my wife, why would anybody pay for a bottle of water? I can just like get a glass of water and get it out of the sink for free. Why would I pay for it? Does anybody else have that thought? Yeah. And it's the answer is right there. You're not really paying for the water. You're paying for the plastic, and number one, you're paying for convenience, you know? The exact same thing with a lot of the single use. We didn't always have plastic grocery bags in the grocery store either, but we do now. But it used to be paper. So we have so much plastic because plastics make our life a lot more convenient. And that's really, I think, where the challenge is. Oops. So what are the problems? So some of those we've already talked about. I'll just go through these. Plastic waste is a fossil fuel product. It's ubiquitous, which means it affects everybody everywhere. It's everywhere on the planet Earth. You can't get away from it. It breaks down into microplastics, which are toxic. It never really goes away. 400 plus years to really become microplastics. And plastic use and pollution are just going exponentially growth. It's like what you wish your portfolio looked like. That's what's happening with plastic production right there. Okay, so some ideas that we've already mentioned about things that you could think about, just challenging yourself on how you could help with this problem. One is start small, but limit your use of single-use plastic water bottles. Bring your own bottle or bring your own cup. If you don't use water bottles, try eliminating other types of plastic like Ziploc baggies. Take out containers. That's a huge 369,000 tons of plastic waste from just containers that when you order out. or you have leftovers and you take it with you from the restaurant. So bring your own wash or sanitize containers, or suggest the 100% compostable containers. Avoid plastic cutlery. 40 billion plastic knives, forks, and spoons every year get thrown out. Living without plastics, diminish the use of plastic bags. When you go to the grocery store, bring a reusable bag. When you buy fruits and vegetables, so many of them have their own skin. If you buy, a cantaloupe, you don't need to put it in the bag. You just take the cantaloupe and take it to the counter. So think about that. Shop at a farmer's market. Bring your own reusable bags. Here's an interesting one for coffee drinkers out there. Consider options if you like the one-time use coffee pods. You see it says the number of K-cups landfills could wrap around the planet 10.5 times. And there's a picture there that Mary Lynn contributed. She has a reusable pod where you put your own coffee in there instead of buying the plastic ones. Another thing you could think about is just packing materials when you're sending gifts or whatever. Instead of using the plastic packaging things like peanuts, you could use crumpled paper, shredded paper, use gift wrap. Even plain popcorn makes a good filler. So those are just some ideas to think about how you could help with the plastics situation we have. So protecting the environment, next steps. I'm going to turn it over to Mary Lynn and Joanne, and they're going to talk about alternate products. Okay.
Well done. I think Bruce is up. Okay, we'll go next. I think, Bruce, you're going to talk about, do you want me to talk about this? Yeah, you can.
So you want me to do it now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, this is just something this is a product that we've been using, and by buying this laundry detergent strip, I'm going to show it to you now. This contains 64 strips, so 64 loads of laundry. When you're done with this package, you put it in your recycle bin, it's recycled. Compared to this, that you use when you're done and you throw it in the trash and it doesn't get recycled. So just a comparison. But this particular company right now is offering, we've signed up for it. If you use this link, this particular link, everything that you purchase, we get 20% back to the club. And so I would encourage you to look, it has to be this link. So if you go online just to look at trueearth.com, and order, we won't get the credit. But if you use that link, and on your table is an envelope with a sample strip and also the link to that website. So I would encourage you to talk to your family, your friends, share it on social media. You can share that link on social media, and that all benefits our club. Yes? Okay, thanks, Taylor. Yeah, it's on our website too, so if you lose that little strip. Okay, thank you.
All right, and then, come on up. All right, and then this slide is a new store that's right around the corner. So this is Jamie Elmo, and she just opened the store while we were meeting and having these meetings. I think I stumbled upon the store, and I'll let her kind of share about her store for a minute.
Okay, hello. Sorry I wasn't prepared to speak. So I'll do the best I can, but we just opened a low-waste refillery November 26th. And so everything that we have in the shop is a sustainable swap for something that you have probably currently in your home for either personal care or household cleaning. We also have, and some of our samples are up here. So for an example, your toothpaste tubes, we have toothpaste tabs, reducing that plastic use of a toothpaste tube. So they're just tabs, you can come in and fill them up, and we charge by the ounce, so everything's in bulk. We have, this is a dish soap block. So instead of using liquid dish soap, we do have liquid dish soap by the ounce too. but you can also do that with a block, and it's low waste, zero waste. We have lots of things. So I'm going to open the shop after this, and so if you want to come shop around and see what we have, I'd be happy to explain further.
Yeah. Do you have a question?
Sure. So I moved over here about 4 years ago from Hawaii, and I was living in Hawaii at the time. And this is kind of where it all started for me, just seeing the microplastics, the plastic wash up on shore in such a beautiful place. It just seems so out of place. So that's what got me thinking about, swapping out some things in my personal life. And then when I was pregnant with my oldest now, he's 3.5, I started purging all our chemicals and just going back to the basics, plant-based chemicals or cleaners. And so we have that fully in stock too. Everything we have is chemical-free, plant-based. So that's kind of where I started with it. And then I was doing it in my own house, so I thought I might as well open a shop and make it more accessible to our community too.
Jamie, could you explain about bringing in containers?
Oh yes, so you can, So we fill any container. If it's plastic, we'll fill it. We fill glass containers. If you have a container that's empty, you can bring it in and we'll refill it for you. We also have containers that you can buy too, and they're glass, and you can just bring them back in and refill each time. Wednesdays now we're offering, if you go to our website, balanceyakima.com, and make an order by Monday, then I will fill your order and you can pick it up Wednesday 5:30 to 6. So we can do it that way too. Yeah.
Where are you located?
So 253, if you just go out these doors, go down the hall, we're a little shop tucked away over here. Yep. Yeah, by the fish tank. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. It was. And let's see. Oh, and then this is a slide that Bruce also wanted to share, that it's the, right now Harmon Center is doing a fundraiser. I brought in a bunch of my plastic bags last weekend, and I saw the flyer. It looks like it's a fundraiser for the Harmon Center to win like one of those Trex benches, which is made out of plastic. So so that's going on right now, and I just walked in with a bunch of plastic and put it in the back, and it kind of they have flyers on their website also, so if you don't catch this, you can check it out on their website. Okay, and then do you want, okay, so I'll just keep going on. And Bruce was going to say these. I kind of took this away from you. Yeah.
I hate to say this, but we use Nespresso, and you're saying you have a...
Actually, that Memorial Foundation has that. So at our office, one of our coworkers brought these, this little pod, and I don't know where she found it. It might have been online, and I'll check and I'll follow up with everybody. But then she just has little cups, little paper cups that go in it, and just scoop your coffee into it, and then it's just a regular Keurig. Yeah.
I believe they have those open
Yeah. And then Dirk is letting out, there's a bingo wild card that could be for what you're doing for maybe trying one of these ideas that we've brought out today. And then we're going to try to maybe give you all these ideas, and maybe in a month might do something. We'll talk to Dirk about maybe doing the Sergeant at Arms again and see what ideas people have tried in the next month. Yeah.
I had a question. I was at the hospital a couple of weeks ago with my niece, and they came in to give her her prescription or whatever meds, and they were in individual little containers, each and every one of them.
Yeah.
I said, do you recycle those? And he said, oh no, we just throw them away. But I mean,
I think healthcare will be one of the hardest ones to do, to eliminate single use. But yeah, that's probably true. Just because of what healthcare has to have for.
Well, it was the first time I had seen
Mhm.
that, so it was 3 containers to do 1 medication time that he had to open in.
Yeah. Another whole industry to try to introduce it to. Yeah. Yeah.
I have a quick question concerning, grocery stores, plastic bags, the 8-cent tax. Has there been any thoughts on essentially creating almost a credit for those that, so you're incentivized to bring reusable bags?
I don't know. Bruce, have you heard of any?
I'm sorry.
Like people getting a credit for bringing reusable bags to grocery stores?
Well, they used to charge, but sometimes if you bring your own bag, then they don't charge you for using a bag.
Well, I mean, there's your credit.
That's your credit. You're not getting charged 7. Oh.
So that I'm going to jump in on that one. Yeah. So the legislature
Oh.
in the state of Washington, it's an 8-cent per bag charge, but there's multiple states that already have decided they're just not available in your state. So and Chris isn't here, but one of the things you can do is influence your legislatures to understand that 8 cents doesn't make a difference to anybody. I mean, 2 hours at raise, 4 people, right? They're all paying 8 cents a bag. To either eliminate it or make it enough of a fee that people will think about, well, do I really want to pay 50 cents for that? Yep.
I was just at Fred's tonight, and I don't know if it's an ongoing thing, but there were no plastic bags.
Paper bags up.
Paper bags only, yeah. Yeah, and I didn't bring those as sample because I think we're all familiar with reusable bags, but we do have some samples. So I'm going to, do you want to talk about?
So here's for produce. One of these little bags. I think there's another one up here. Yeah. And actually, I was in Johnson's getting some cookies, and she had these for sale, and that's where I picked up, I think, a pack of 3 or 4 from that place. But you can get them online. I don't know if they're carrying them in like a Walmart yet, but they're pretty nice. They're pretty nice. You can. But once again, if you're picking up things like an orange, things that have their own cover on them, you can just put them in your grocery bag or your grocery cart. Bananas, that kind of thing. This could be more for onions and broccoli, cauliflower. Yeah. These are just some small bags for in your home, in your garbage containers at home, and then the larger bags that are all biodegradable instead of the heavy-duty black plastic that we see. These towels that I have shown here are from a company called Geometry, and they use 2 plastic bottles to make these towels, and they're wonderful. They're wonderful. I know my husband picked it up and he said, felt it, and he said, is that gonna absorb anything? I said, well, let's try it. And of course it did, and was wonderful. They wash very well. You'll see these on Instagram. They've started advertising. Water in a little, what I would call a milk carton. And you can get these, I think, at Rosar's, in bigger, like a quart container. But that's one way to buy water if you want to buy water. And of course, we have the Rotary water bottle. What else do we have here? The straws. You can buy these, and these now are pretty available. Inklings, I know. They have them at Inklings. Where else have I seen them? Anyway, they're pretty good. Stainless. I think they're stainless. I don't know. Check online. Go to True Earth and check. What else do we have? this jug right here. I have a little back problem. I can't.
This is kind of just a sample of a large container that could be used and refilled. Like if it was cleaned out, you could take this to Jamie's store and then get like other items. Or it shows, in some ways, it shows like what about the size of my dishwashing detergent used to be. And now I have these, just an empty container, and these are dishwashing. So that takes the place of a big jug. These are like little silicone lids to use instead of saran wrap, just like little lids to go over items. And these are kind of like, this is called stasher, and then they're just like little, to take care of Ziploc bags, they're just like little bags that people could use.
They're washable?
So yeah,
You just rinse them?
Use them like a Ziploc bag, and then you just wash them out.
Okay.
Or I have this one that I have a bigger one like this that I use for camping or hiking that just goes in my backpack. Wax wrap. So this kind of item just goes over, instead of the silicone, I just use that to wrap up something instead of plastic.
Yeah, and those are at Inklings also.
Or check on the, so on the handout that everybody got, there is, oh, do you want me to use this? Are we fine for a few more minutes? So the handout that's there has one page that has True Earth examples. Should I use True Earth examples on the one page that goes towards the fundraiser. And then also the Balanced Eco Refillery items. I just made I made a laundry list of the different things she has at her store. And when we were talking to Jamie about maybe in the future doing a Rotary fundraiser with her store too. And then on the back are just some resources of other items. Some of these things that are here are things that our club, those are kind of the brands. We just listed some of the resources that our different club members use so we can kind of all vouch for those different websites. So you can take a look. There's, let me think of something. These are dryer balls. For instead of laundry or dryer strips. This is like a deodorant that's got a cardboard, you could compost this container when you're done using it as deodorant. And I bought this at the Balanced store. This is called Who Gives a Crap Toilet Paper, so I bought a box of that. And it came as a big delivery to my house, and it's just a big box. These are bamboo, like little pads for instead of cotton balls. That's it. So I'm going to hand it over to Bruce, and Jamie's going to open up her store after the place. So if you want to, after our meeting, so you can stop by.
Say, years ago, we got issued bags that you carry things in with a Rotary emblem on it. I still have one of those, and I'll tell you, I use it every single time I go to the store. Now, those originally came when one of the persons in our group was working out at the recycle center out in East Valley. And everybody in our club got one of those bags. I think they ought to be replaced like new ones.
It's a good thought, Hank. Well, listen, I'd like you to take a look at Jamie's store, visit True Earth's website, and I challenge us all to become activists and catalysts for change in our own community. Rotary and Rotarians in general are respected in the community for all the positive things that we do. And I think this is no different. So I challenge you to think about making some changes in your life in regards to the use of plastic. I think of at work, if you're at work or you're on a board. I mean, how many times have you been to a board meeting with 20 chairs around a large table and each one has a plastic bottle of water there? It's not necessary. Usually there's a place you can get water. So just challenge yourself to make a comment to someone in charge and say, hey, can we do this? When we were at here in our location, they used to put water on each table, each site, in little plastic glasses. And so every week there were 60 or so that some were used and some weren't, but they were in the trash at the end of the day. So we talked to the management over there, and they replaced them with glass. So just think about doing that on a baby steps, a small scale, where you work at home. Talk it over with your spouse and your kids, just for those things. So thank you very much for your attention. And go ahead and come up to the table if you want on your way out and look at some of the products. And Jamie will be at her store just right down the hall.
Thank you, guys. I think that is, yep. So I want to thank John and Mark for doing greeting and introductions. Steve, thank you for doing invocation. And then again, thank you for the Preserve the Planet Committee for putting this presentation together. With that, our meeting is adjourned.